Hey everybody, it's a Review Revolution, back at you again with the next in the DC Universe, DC 75 Years of Superpowers, Wave 13, and today we're taking a look at Cheetah. In this case, figures that are in the set, of course, we've done Negative Man and Blue Devil. Cheetah and Donna Troy are the two ladies in the wave, and I figured it was about time to give, one of the ladies a little peek. So, we're going to go ahead and take a look today at Cheetah. Standard DC Universe packaging, nothing all that different from the past, last wave, Wave 12, and nothing changing so far. I think Wave 14 and 15 all look the same pretty much. So, I don't expect them to change every wave, but I really hope they don't wait till Wave 20 to change the packaging again. I'm assuming now that 2010 is almost over, once we get into 2011, we probably won't see the 75 Years of Superpower logo, so by the end of the year, we probably will see a new kind of packaging. Possibly. My suspicion. Same old packaging, though. Again, got the lineup of other DC characters, and it is kind of in line with the way the packaging is molded or sculpted. Vacuum formed, whatever, with the kind of the angle down with the faces of the heroes and villains here, angle down with the faces and villains here, and then of course the explosion of light in the background in the center, kind of radiating up with the main figure in the pack. Kind of cool. Again, I like the design on these packages. I like the way Mattel designs their stuff. I especially like that if you look at it. Let's see, kind of, sort of. You can see where on the inside, where the plastic she's sitting in has got the sculpting, and this is something they've done for a while, of like claw marks, like being torn into by a set of claws. And they've kind of personalized the package for the characters like this for, I guess, about 5-6 waves now. It's actually kind of cool. I do like that personalization. As I was pointing out, the other figures that are going to be coming up, we've got Superboy, Cyclotron, Blue Beetle, and then Donna Troy. All together, we'll have a very impressive Trigon from everything I've seen. Can't wait to have a stab at him. But there is Cheetah, kind of the classic design Cheetah, the official Cheetah, the Cheetah 1, if you will. On the bio, several individuals have taken the name Cheetah over the years. First was the socialite named Priscilla Rich, who resented the fame of the Wonder Woman of the 1940s. Turning a cheetah skin rug into a costume, she tangled with the Amazon several times. Decades later, glory-hunting archaeologist Barbara Minerva stumbled across an African tribe in the midst of a bloody ritual. She forced them to make her part of the ceremony, so she became the vessel for the cheetah spirit, attaining the ability and feral nature of one of Wonder Woman's greatest and most enduring foes. The reason they've got two of them on there is because Cheetah, along with Negative Man, I don't know if I mentioned before, but Negative Man actually had a variant, kind of the chase figure, but Cheetah got a variant as well. And if you order the figure online, like at Big Bad Toys or off Maddie's website, the variant Cheetah is the one that you got. Negative Man you had to actually run down somewhere, which I never found him, didn't care. In this case, the Cheetah character, her first appearance was Wonder Woman number 6, 1943. Real name Various, because there are two. Occupation criminal / evil spirit. Base operations Various. Special abilities above average strength, agility, and speed. Highly developed sense of cunning and acute senses. So, exactly what you expect from a Cheetah. In this case, we'll go ahead and pop Cheetah 1 out of the pack. Have a look. Have some fun. Be right back. All right, everybody. We've got the refugee from Josie and the Pussycats out of her pack. And it misses. It somehow... There's several things. There's about 3 things that really bother me about the figure. And full disclosure, 2 of them are going to be really easy to make jokes out of. Feel free to do so. But yeah, there are three things just right off the bat that really kind of bother me about the character or about the figure. Good stuff first. I do think that for the way it is painted, I think that the colors and the way that there's kind of a two-tone feel across the figure, like, you've got the lighter goldish orange here, and then it gets a little more brown, a little more red around her tummy and around the front, and then on the side again it kind of fades into this lighter color. I do like that, and then of course it does the same thing on the back. It kind of gives this darker warmth on her back. I think that looks good. I like that transition. I like how it kind of goes all the way through, kind of here on her thighs, kind of that orange color kind of blends down through with the boots and the side being a lighter color. I think that's really cool. I really do like that. The fingers, she actually has her nails painted, which is very important for Cheetah. I mean, it's almost a shame that Catwoman didn't have kind of the kind of metal claws painted on her. But yeah, I do like the paint job they did on her nails. Her hands are a very soft plastic, which, considering she's not really sculpted to hold any accessories, I guess that's okay. That's not too bad. Definitely keeps it from getting like warped or bent too badly. But on the figure itself, starting with the face itself, I guess, is painted okay. I get kind of this flashback of the Harley Quinn figure, whereas with Harley, she had this white face that gradually became more blue, like she's got some sort of like creepy 5 o'clock shadow. Here, Cheetah, she has kind of this redness around her eyes, from about her nose up, and then it kind of fades down into kind of just a more natural skin tone. Why they gave her this shadow over her eye, I don't quite get. The mask doesn't cast that kind of shadow. It's just something about it just looks. Again, it just misses. The paint, I don't really care for the way it turned out. The lipstick they put on her, the way her eyes are painted. I mean, the application looks fantastic. No runs, no bleeds, nothing like that. Looks great. It's just how it's sculpted, or not sculpted, but the way it's painted with the flesh tone being so red up here and then fading into this lighter color here. It's like, I don't know. I don't know what it is. It just looks kind of strange. I don't know how well you can see it, but it just looks a little weird. Her mask. Now the entire outfit she wears, I mean, it's supposed to be kind of in the style of, the way she looked in the very beginning. And I'm sure it's a much more modern version of, but I've never really cared for this look. As far as this particular Cheetah, the one-piece jumpsuit kind of thing, I would much rather have seen kind of the superpowers version of her, where it didn't have her cleavage showing. First off, I'd rather them not have done this, because, well, I mean, because it's not done very well. Fact of the matter is, I mean, there's no seam on her front, except for the way it's painted, to indicate that she has a suit that she's got kind of this low cut on. Plus, the way the cleavage is just sculpted, it doesn't work. I mean, it does not work. It looks like it's just two lumps kind of plopped onto the front of a thin chest. From the side it looks pretty. It looks very nice. But when you look at it from this angle, yeah, it's just not sculpted very well. It would work if they had just kept it all the way up to the neckline, and then connected the color all the way on the back of the neck into her mask, into her hat. Kind of like a Batman cowl kind of thing that runs all the way through, and then give her a solid piece. That's how the Superpowers version looked, and I thought that was great, because it was really just this single body jumpsuit. Less is more. Let guys use their imagination if you want to show something off. But yeah, this I don't like. I don't think that looks very good. Plus, the spot patterns, they look really good, and it's not like overdone or completely random. It looks like there is some sort of rhyme or reason to the pattern, almost like a real cheetah would have. But in the Superpowers version, for the most part, her suit was just a solid color, and you only had the spots around her chest. Again, I think making this a solid piece, letting it run up to the bottom of the mask, and then just putting the spots along her shoulder, much more classic style. Just overall a better look for the character. It's a matter of taste. You may prefer it this way. I would rather have seen the Superpowers version myself. I would like to see maybe a re-release of Cheetah in some, Legion of Doom pack that actually looked more like she did from that time. And I guess let me go ahead and go on to the articulation real quick before I touch on the last thing that kind of bothers me. But on her head, of course, does move side to side. Not really kind of any up or down. The arms come up, twist at the bicep, elbow, and wrist. It's very thin, just like Harlequin. So, you're going to get the backwards elbow. That's typical for kind of these spindly arms. Her crunch doesn't go forward, really, but she'll definitely go back. Twist at the waist. She actually has her tail, which I like. I do like the fact they gave her a tail. It doesn't move here at her bottom, but it does have a twist here so that, it can go side to side. So you can't have like an up or down tail, but you do have a little bit of a twist. That's kind of cool. The twist at the waist, as I might have mentioned. The thighs, I'll get to these in a minute because this is the next part that bothers me. But there is a twist here at the thigh, then at the knee, and on the foot. And you can actually see how the spots go all the way down into the boot. Kind of just trail off into the bottom of the boot. That's actually kind of nice. But lastly, on Cheetah, at the top of her legs, at her thighs, let me bring in the Barbara Gordon Batgirl, which is just, other than some very light paint issues, perfect figure, beautiful figure, a top 10 figure for sure. But for female figures, it's a good one to bring out because it shows you the difference in these kind of joints that they use for the legs. Barbara uses or Batgirl uses the old style joint on the female figures, which is really three parts. It's kind of the crotch piece, the top of the leg, and then her thigh. And the peg for the thigh was really at the top of the leg. So, the thigh and the rest of the leg were attached to the pin that goes into her crotch. And it works well. I mean, the joint works great. It was used through Harley. It's been used in a lot of the female figures, even up to Wave 12. Cheetah, for whatever reason, seemed to abandon that so that the top of the leg and the thigh are actually one piece. So the peg that goes in, you can see here, the peg that goes in is not a separate piece, and therefore, for whatever reason, it doesn't close as well. Her legs won't close. They're constantly spread at about shoulder length. It'll give a good dynamic pose, but when you try to push them closer together, it almost feels like you're putting pressure on the joint. And you can even see here how it kind of pulls it away from the waist. It kind of bothers me. So, really, it's not bad. Needs some work. In the way of her accessories, we saw the button, but she also comes with the right leg of Trigon, which, as I said, from what I've seen so far on the other reviews, he's going to be a very impressive figure. And just to kind of show, again, here's that top of the leg pin, the joint here, and then the rest of the thigh just kind of attaches to it. Great example of what I was talking about. For now, I certainly thank everybody for watching. Rate, comment, subscribe, join the revolution. We'll see you soon. Bye-bye.